In this video I share my tips on how to find translation jobs in 2021. Coming up. Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. Okay, this week is a big one actually. This is by far the most requested video for my channel. The whole video today is going to be about how to find jobs in 2021. Obviously this is important for you guys, as most of you, I assume, are just starting out your career as a freelance translator and you really want to make this work. So yeah, basically all you need right now is jobs, right? So I wanted to make this video and really tell you what I did when I started and what I still do now when I look for new clients, and also in all honesty just what I would do now if I were to start right now. So I hope this is of value for you guys. I want to structure this video into 3 parts. Number 1 is translation platforms. Number 2 is social media. And number 3 I call in real life, IRL, but it's more like a miscellaneous category where just everything else goes. You will see what I mean by that. So let's get started right away with part 1, called translation platforms. So realistically, this is the easy part, right? This is just the groundwork you have to do. You have to visit all these pages. You have to sign up with as many profiles as you can, because the first thing you want to do is get your name out there so people can actually find you and maybe months down the road contact you because you signed up somewhere, right? So in the beginning, you really just want to get your name out there wherever you can. There are these generic websites that I'm sure you've heard of. Also, if you follow my channel, there's one called Fiverr, there's one called Upwork, Freelancer, or also People Per Hour, I think it's called. These are not translation specific. You can just sign up and try to get translation work. I'd recommend to do this kind of on the side, you know, don't focus on these sites, but just sign up so you have something on there in case someone contacts you, and then you can look for other sources of work. By the way, I'm not going into detail what these pages do, what you can do on there. I'm just mentioning them so you can do your own research and pick the ones that are suitable for you. So the 2 very translation specific ones are Probst.com and Translators Cafe. You should definitely visit both of them and sign up there because these are really made for translators, so you have the most chance to find actually sustainable clients on there, right? And then the third part is there are these gig websites where you can go on there as a freelance translator and you are matched with work. It's almost like a marketplace on there. There are a lot of these out there. I compiled a few of them that you should definitely visit, that are the biggest one and the most common one, but also do your own research because there are even more out there. So the ones that I would recommend to you are Talk, Straker Translations, 1 Hour Translation, My Translation, Appen, Mota Word, Translator Space, and SmartCat. So as a first step, if I were to start, I would check out all of these and I'm sure I would find some kind of jobs. So make sure to sign up with them so people can actually find you. Your name is out there. Moving on to part 2, social media. Now this way of finding clients is definitely more difficult and it requires more effort, or not effort because signing up with all these profiles is a lot of effort. It takes more strategy, I would say. The first social media I'd like to mention is LinkedIn. I recently made a video about LinkedIn. You can click here if you want to watch it, about how to make your profile more appealing. What I would recommend you to use LinkedIn in 4 kind of ways. Number 1 would be write good content or publish good content that people are actually interested in, and then use hashtags that from the translation industry that people also find you with them. This is really important because you want people to find you interesting, and this way they like to connect with you, and then you also find other peers that might eventually give you work, right? So just really establish yourself as someone who's outgoing, who wants to meet the community. This will benefit you greatly down the road. Second way to use LinkedIn is go through the job search. Even though you're not looking for an employed job, but still go to the job directory there and look for keywords like freelance translator, German translator, whatever language you offer. Remote is also a good word, especially nowadays. And there are things coming up, so really look as if you were looking for a job. Also look through LinkedIn once in a while, because they're, especially for Spanish, Japanese and Chinese people, I find actually a lot of things on there, so it might be worth to take a look. Third way to use LinkedIn is connect with people just from the industry. Just really don't just send connection requests and have them accepted and that's it. Whenever you send a connection request, make sure you write a little paragraph, why you connect, what you would like to know from them, what you find interesting about them, so they will be forced to respond kind of, and you can start a conversation that's quite nice on there. And having these informal conversations can always lead to jobs, right? If you're a Spanish translator and you connect with another Spanish translator, you never know. Maybe he's completely full of work and he needs someone that he can trust and he can give work to. You never know what happens. And the last point, how to use LinkedIn, that ties in with all the other social media. You should follow keywords and hashtags and look for them, filter for them. You can do that also on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and yeah, if you want to, even TikTok nowadays. I haven't tried it yet, but why not? Popular hashtags to follow for the translation industry are XL8, TN9 and L10N. So all of these three, if you follow them, you will find content that's very specific to the language and localization industry, which is super interesting. Not only you get to expand your horizon, you learn new content, you learn new skills, but also you find jobs, right? People post jobs all the time with these hashtags. Another smart way to filter for keywords and hashtags on social media is actually, for example, what I do, I often search for expansion or expanding together with German or Germany or Switzerland. And then I come across posts of companies that say, oh, you know, next month we're expanding to Germany. And whenever I see that, I immediately write a DM to them and just very informal, you know, just say, hey, I love your stuff. I've seen your post, you're expanding. Let me know if you need help with your website, localization to German, marketing materials, etc. Usually you get in touch with someone from marketing that is responsible for localization, or if they're not, they at least know who's responsible and they can put you in touch with them. Or for example, if you are working in the gaming industry, if you're a game translator, right? What I would do first thing what I would do is sit down one evening and just look for game developers and just send them DMs. You know, you can copy it even. Just say, you do this, you're a game translator for German, if you need my help, contact me. Write 50, write 100, write 150 people. And you know, 50 times it's a no, but might be a yes once. So just be patient and be consistent. This brings me to part 3, which I called IRL, in real life. What I really mean is just not approaches on social media and not approaches through translation platforms. So everything else, right? This starts off with network. Network is super important for jobs. Of course, you don't have one in the beginning, or at least not in the localization industry. You might have one elsewhere. You might have expertise in another field, which is super valuable. In that case, just write everyone you know from this field that you now do translations. And if they would like a translation into your language in this specific field, they should contact you. You can do this through LinkedIn, you can do it through emails, even phone calls if you are outgoing. I will probably just do it via email. All the emails I have from this specific field of expertise, I would send them an email. If you watched my first Meet the Freelancer video, you can click up here. It was with Mareike. It's what she did. She just sent to all her academic network that she's now an academic editor, and yeah, she got a lot of work through that. So it's a very good approach, this one. Let your friends and family know as well, especially if you did a translation degree, a bachelor or a master's. Then really connect with your peers from there, right? Because it's very likely that some of them end up in the localization industry and can give you some work. That was the case with me, right? I had actually quite a few friends that work now in agencies or at marketing departments that I could get in touch with and get work through that. And equally important with your family, they really can get your name out there, they can carry your name out in the world, and that's what you want essentially in the beginning. You want people to know your name, so later on they can get back to you. Another thing you can do in real life is contact your local chamber of commerce. You can ask them for a list of newly founded companies, for example, and then you can literally just go through every single company. And you know, if you work in a local market, it's very interesting, this approach. You can just contact them, and that's basically then cold calling, which is tough, but in the beginning you just need to do it. Same goes with companies that you just have in mind that could be interesting for you. Just look them up online and write them an email. Very informal, you know, just say what you do, your specializations, and if they need your help, they should contact you. I would never be too pushy in the beginning, but if you strike a nerve, and if they're actually looking right now for someone, they are looking to move away from an agency and go directly to a freelancer, because it's much cheaper for them that way, right? You never know. Like, try 50 times and one might be a success. And super important in this part 3 of IRL are agencies, right? Because I personally prefer to work with agencies over direct clients. That's just a choice, you know, it's much less hassle and I can do actually productive work. So I prefer to have my 80-20 split of 80% agency, 20% direct client. Yeah, you need to find these boutique agencies, that the small ones that are not the big players, because so how it works in the localization industry, you have the big players, the big 5 or 6 maybe. They are Lionbridge, We Localize, STL, Moravia, Transperfect and Vistatech. The big 6, I call them, right? And they are good agencies. Like, you want to have them as a backup to kind of have filler jobs, because they have so many jobs coming, right? So it's very definitely useful to look for them and sign up with them. But they generally don't pay that much, because they don't need to, because everyone wants to work with them, right? So the key to sustainable business is finding boutique agencies that have the funds to pay you enough. So how I would do that, there are several ways to do that. How I would do is, actually I could show you maybe on my phone. I haven't planned any of this, but I could just show, I think it's better for you. So let me just get a screen recording quick. I think you should be able to see this. Just randomly, I thought it might be better for you to actually see what I'm doing when I'm looking for a new agency. So I'm trying to show you exactly what I'm doing. So the first thing, I would look for a city and then an agency within this city. And what you want to do is, you don't want to look for a place, a location where the standard of living is very low, the cost of living, right? Because then the agency can probably not pay you enough. So what I would do is I would look for a place where the cost of living, standard of living is very high. So what should we do? I don't want to do Switzerland, because that's what I'm doing most of the time. So let's do Singapore, for example, right? I think Singapore has a high standard of living. So what I would do is just look for Singapore translation agency. And then we get a few results here. I would go down to this Google Maps area and I would look through. Chambers Translation Services, Raffles Translation Services Singapore. Oh, they have a very good rating, 4.8 Raffles. So I will probably click on this. Let's see what this is about. I have no idea what this is, by the way. I just see if it works. A popular translation company or agency with the highest click rate on Google in Singapore. The first impression is it's okay. It's not the most professional website, but it looks good. Like, it looks like a legit agency. So they are looking for German, as I've seen here. What I then would do is look on Blueboard if they are scammers or if they have a good rating. So let me just go to the screen here. Okay, you should be able to see this. What I would do is Raffles, they are called, right? I would do Raffles Blueboard and see if Probst comes up, and it does come up. It does have entries. Raffles Translation Services have 5 out of 5, so very good entries. Not that much, only 2 in the last 12 months, but very serious company, excellent corporation. So they have 18 entries with 5 stars, so that's definitely a way to go. You can trust them. So then what I would do is I would look up for a way to how to sign up with them. And usually you go in the menu and there should be like a join us or a career. Here they have join us, and there you can usually sign up as a freelancer. Oh, okay, I've seen something that's not a good sign for me. With a minimum of 10 years of experience in your own translation field. Okay, that's wow. 10 years, I see that rarely, 10 years of experience needed. So what it means, they really value experience and they want to have the best quality. So, okay. They say right now we are urgently in need of Chinese translators who are able to do transcreation. So if they say this and I were a Chinese translator, I would still apply even though I don't have 10 years of experience, because they obviously urgently need them. But for me, it doesn't make sense, right? This is now a no. But here you see, to join our team, send an email to the email, and you actually have the HR email of this agency, which is super important, super powerful. So this, if it wouldn't say 10 years, I would immediately apply, right? Now this didn't work out the way I wanted, but still I hope it gives you an insight of how I actually do things. There you go, this was a lot of information, I know. I hope you were able to follow and I hope it made sense. What I wanted to achieve is just show you what I would do right now if I were to start tomorrow. So you can do all these things, right? It's not that hard. You can just try and see if it works for you. Good luck with finding jobs. Be patient, be consistent, have confidence, sell yourself as a business owner. beginner and not someone who's desperate for jobs. So try to go for the people that value your work, that know about the translation industry. This way you will be profitable way earlier. Make sure to scroll down and subscribe to the channel and like the video. It actually helps out a lot. We are now in the 700s of subscribers, so my goal is to reach 1,000 by March. So if you could help me out with that, I would appreciate it a lot. And I see you next week with another video. See you then. Bye bye.